Not sure what happened there, folks, but welcome to part two of today's Music Review Tuesday. We were just in the middle of a great review by Max, a great song. And you know what? When you get cut off by whatever is the deal, I don't know if it's Restream, who we are using. This has happened before with Restream. Really like using this software, but this is the second time that this has happened. So hope all of you who were watching that last video can find this new stream. But I'm going to start. Yeah, you broke the broadcast, Max. Very impressive that you did that. I mean, too energetic. I hope everybody comes back who was with us in the last podcast. But these will run concurrently and link to each other if you're watching later. So let's just take another listen, since Mac, unless and hope that Max doesn't break us again. But we're going to take one more listen. If you're just joining this second podcast, or I'm sorry, this second video, we're going to share it again and listen to Mac's song, Energetic, Action Energetic Indie Rock. And boy, is this song Action Energetic Indie Rock. So hang on to your pants, your pantaloons. Here we go. All right, so let's get to, before we get to Frodo's running out of time, apparently I ran out of time in that last stream. I'm not sure what's happening with that. This is the second time out of 3 weeks that it's done this to me. So real quickly, Max, I love the entire song. I think at the end there's another dimension that you could bring in towards the end. I also think you're missing a great opportunity for the ending. Da-da, do-da-da, do-da. You know, just like heart, you know, they love hard endings on these kind of things. And even that, what you did, but I think you could do ba-da, 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 dun, dun, da-da, 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 just like a really clean, sharp ending on one of those things, and it would be killer. And yeah, everybody is loving this. Max, Malin has agreed. I love that half-tempo mini break. It just helps, folks. It helps that your song, it helps your song have a little bit more dimensionality if there is a second, if there is a pause and then a rebuild. And it just helps in general. That's why there are bridges in pop songs, because your song can be playing and then you can have a bridge. But in general, I want to say, Ronan says he feels it's a bit too loopy, but a good direction. I'm not sure I feel that way personally. I love the energy to it. It's great for stock. I think mostly for stock, but I could also see it being used in a TV show or a documentary or maybe a reality show or something like that. So Max says, could this be accepted by Motion Array? Well, Motion Array is tricky. I I think so. I mean, it's quality wise, certainly. I think you could tighten up that ending. You could add maybe something else in. They're really finicky with their fast stuff, and I haven't cracked that code necessarily yet personally. Other people like I think this would do well because I mean you see people like our friend Lester Woodward, who does a lot of energetic rock like this, and he does well on Motion Array. Stevie does obviously well on Motion Array, and he likes to do up tempo stuff. Although I'm not sure I've heard anything this up tempo and rock by him on there, but he might. But I certainly think it is. Are you currently in Motion Array, Max? As far as a first song to show them, I mean, I really like it. I feel like there's some kind of beep boo boo or some kind of thing that could happen at the end to bring in a little bit more timbralness, if you will. You know, something that adds a higher part towards the end. Not currently on Motion Array. Good for sports commercial. Absolutely. This is a great comment by Arco. This is really good for a television commercial where people are racing each other. This is good for that. So in that way, we go beyond stock. We go into sync where there's possibilities for this song with sync libraries. So certainly you might see that. Ronan says, I can see this in a DoorDash commercial. Yeah, exactly. Just what Arco said, almost a sports or action. You have it named correctly, that's for sure. You're only on Audio Jungle and Pond 5 so far. Is this song on there? It's very good. I can't see any reason why either one would reject it, although Audio Jungle can be kind of finicky. Yes, you do need Motion Array. I mean, it's not the Motion Array of last year for any of us, but it is something you definitely need to look to get on. Yeah, I would go ahead and put these on Pond 5 and Audio Jungle. I think you could get a better ending, and that ending is not the best. That's the weakest part of the song for me, to be honest, is that ending. That da-da. They prefer to have a tight ba-bum, you know, and I think this song gives you a perfect opportunity to do that. You could almost like just cut it, you know, and it would be a killer ending. Again, my only other addition, Max, would say I think you could put something higher, some kind of paddy type or belly type thing at the end over the top. Good, yeah. Audio Jungle and Pond 5. I'm really using them as bargain basement places now for $5 if you've been watching any of my experiment videos here. But the stuff is moving. I think you've just got to go bargain basement there if you want to have consistent stuff. And you might think bargain basement is not something you should do, but Motion Array sells them for 35 cents so for downloads. So Ronan says, definitely a better ending, but an easy fix. Absolutely. Easy, super easy fix. You could almost do it with an editor, just a 2-track editor. So great job, Max. Motion Array is harder. Have you tried to get in Motion Array yet, Max? And what has been your experience with that? It takes a while. It's certainly a 2-month plus experience. People are asking me if 2 weeks is normal to hear back from them. And even though Motion Array has told me that 2 weeks is something that is a little long, right now, just for us, for people who are accepted in Motion Array, it's 11 or 12 days, which is almost 2 weeks to get a song accepted in. I just had one accepted yesterday, and it was almost exactly 12 days. So a couple months ago. Yeah, I would email them, and if anybody has any troubles with, I think, no, the email that you need to, if you have sent something to them and you haven't heard back, then content@motionarray.com. That's what Maya told me to tell you guys, is to send your emails to content@motionarray.com if you have applied and sent them songs and you haven't heard back in weeks or months. That's too long, and that will get that. They have a pretty good your sound was much worse. Well, this sounds good, Max, to me. If your newer stuff is sounding like this, here's the deal. Now, just in this comment, and we'll go on to the next song here in a minute, but you said a couple months ago, were you rejected or have you just not heard? That's the question. Because if you were rejected, they answered to me and told no. Okay, well then in that case, you're going to need to wait a while. I think when I asked them about this, they suggested that people email them back in 6 months or so but they need to see improvement. But I think if you show them this, they should really like it. Now, it's just that they don't like certain things from certain composers, and they do like certain things. Like all my religious stuff gets in, my vocal stuff gets in, my piano stuff gets in, my jazz stuff gets in. But I've tried lo-fi and I've tried different things or funky things, and some of those things just don't get in. Not much, but some things I've tried don't get in because I usually stick to what I know that they will like, and that's the kind of stuff I write anyway. So, all right, well, Max, thank you so much for this, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your continued comments. I hope you'll stick with us as long as we're able to stream some more. We're going to move on now to Frodo, who has a song for us called Running Out of Time, which hopefully we are not. And then we are going to get to Arco with Chilling Piano and Andreas with True Love. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go right and listen to what Mr. Frodo has for us with Running Out of Time. I'll start it back again. Very nice. Let me listen to something here. You know, again, to me on this one, Frodo, it seems like that you could add more, a couple of stops to this with big builds, you know, with big, and this would go instantly into trailer category as far as I'm concerned. It's beautiful. It's very well done. I don't have anything to say about your sounds or any of those things. There's a few times when your melodies on the ding, 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 a couple of those melodies went out of the chord for a minute and caused a little bit of like, is that the right note type of sound? But as far as the actual sounds themselves, I don't see any problem with it and really, really like it. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, Max. Just there are some notes in the melody that walk into another place that's not in the chord, and it sounds like it's a wrong note. So, yeah, John says that piece just sucked my imagination right in. Yeah, and that's because it's really kind of heading down that trailer road, Frodo, I think. Altered harmony, but not supported by other instruments. Yeah, definitely. I think that this is 2 drops away from being a great trailer. or at least a short trailer, you know. And I think that is something that a lot of people are looking for, and it definitely sounds like that to me. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts about that, but to me, this sounds like a trailer. It sounds like something you'd see with action happening behind it. Yeah, Arco says pretty epic, and I have to agree with that. Pretty epic. And it could be even more epic with a few drops, you know. And I know that it can feel a little, I don't know, a little passe, or a little, you know, a little like, oh, that's just like every other trailer. But hey, that's just what people who make trailers want. They want that kind of, thing. Yeah, Arco says similar thing. Maybe a drop in the middle, and maybe it only needs one drop. You have a place where it does that right before that very last part, but I definitely think you could do that. White Beam says, I like the sounds. From the title, I anticipated another kind of track. Running out of time. Well, I don't know. To me, that kind of works. You know, running out of time, to me, sounds like that's what it was. I think he's talking, maybe there could be a little bit more tension in it. And I think those drops, making it a little bit more of a movie soundtrack trailer type of thing, might be the way to go with that. All right. Well, I do have a hard stop in about 18 minutes, so we better get to our last songs today. And Mr. Arco, who's been so helpful in your comments today, let's go ahead and get to that. Max says, yes, drops will be good for libraries, but you can also make a version without drops. Agreed. This version is just fine the way it is, except for that melody issues that I was talking about. I think you could fix that. Frodo says, awesome. Thanks a lot, everyone. I used a tension track for reference and copied the structure, but some breaks certainly could work. Yeah. And maybe you, like Max said, maybe you do just a separate version, like I talked to Matt about, or whoever it was that I was talking about. Make a copy of this track and just go in and keep that version, save and keep that version, and then make maybe another version. But I would look at that melody, because it does, I think, and that ding ding. You got make sure when you're making alts, you probably could make a version without the melody part in it. It's always good to make a no melody pass of any of your songs. All right, John Doe says, welcome, Frodo. Definitely enjoyed hearing it. So yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to move on now and hear Arco's new piece, and this is called, hold on, I'll be able to see it in just a second. This is called Chilling Piano. So we're in the mood for more chilling stuff. So here we go, Chilling Piano. Nice. love to know what piano that is, Arco. You can tell me. Uh-oh. Somebody else starting. We're not ready for you yet, Andreas. Don't get your cool bass on us just yet. Yeah, I also love the atmosphere on that. Could listen to that on repeat. White Beam says, nice one, Arco. Yeah, very good job. Beautiful song. Let me know what piano that is. Would love to know. I think it sounds like some kind of felt type of piano, which is nice. As some of you may know, I'm not huge fans of felt pianos. But Lucas says, I love this atmosphere. Agreed. Frodo says, kind of would like to hear some quiet violin holding one note to fill in the high frequencies. Yeah, and this was kind of my comment with Max, that I felt like there were some high frequencies, some higher sounding things that could happen at the very, very end of that thing if you could. Hey, there he is. All right, Andreas has joined us. I believe that's Andreas, right? Music Man. We are ready, just about ready for you and your funky bass song that I just heard, I believe. So, yes, okay, that's you, Music Man. No, you are not too late. As a matter of fact, you are just about on time. We are wrapping up talking about Arco's song right now. And yeah, Arco, I love this. I love the sound of it. I love... the only thing that gets off for me on this song is towards the end. Again, in this particular song, when the beat comes in, it almost is distracting for me personally. I think it's a little too complicated maybe of a beat to go under this beautiful thing that you've taken so much time to establish. Now, I don't mind the slow burn on this one, and I don't think there's a need for oh, sorry about that. I don't know why that is. If anyone else is getting breakup and crackling, hey, this is streaming, so we do the best we can. And I'll put a link in the description below in the live, in the non-live version, once I put this together, of this particular playlist, so you can go back and listen to all the tracks if you'd like to and hear them. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this later and for some reason you find it's a little crackly or whatever, I'll put the link below so you can go right to the disco playlist and play these songs. But this kind of technology is what it is. It's amazing that we can even do this kind of thing, and I can tell everybody and show everybody's comments and all this kind of stuff. So, and this, I don't have to use OBS, which is a lot of work as far as I'm concerned. So, yes, audio glitches on all tracks, same as last video. Well, let me see what I can do about that, folks. Sorry about that. But, the goal for me is not, I don't know how to, the goal for me is not necessarily for you to hear these perfectly. And with streaming technology, especially a web streaming version like this, the goal is for you to get an idea of what the track sounds like, and then to hear the comments and to get comments back on stuff. And especially if it's your song, you know what it sounds like. But I'll see what I can do about better sound on that for next time. I'll do some tests. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. So, yes, getting back to you, Arco. I like what I hear. If anybody has any thoughts on Arco's song, let me know. Especially a song like that. I'm sure it's going to be, if you hear glitches and stuff, it'll be more, because that's so delicate, that whole song. What I really love in this song, my favorite thing, was right at the start when you had those little, I don't know what they were, but there's just some other kind of counter thing coming in there. And let me just show you right here. It's right here where this... Whatever that is, I really love it, and I think that it's really cool. It's like some kind of like another piano or another guitar or something. Very cool sound on that, and just such a nice slow burn build. And I just think when the beat comes in, it almost feels a little, at least to me, maybe this didn't feel that way to everybody else, but I thought the beat seemed not out of place necessarily, but maybe just a little too complicated for this beautiful thing that you'd built up, and or too understated. Maybe it needed to be more if you're trying to build that in, maybe it needed to grow to that next thing. Yeah, that's piano on the high notes. Yeah, I know on the high notes, but there was some kind of mid-range little sound that you had brought in, kind of a counter rhythmic thing that I really liked. It's really cool. Good, I don't know, good mid-range something or other happening there. Just I just love the texture of it, you know. And so my only thoughts would be at the very end, the percussion, and I would look at that and see. Anybody else have any thoughts? If not, we're going to move on to our final song of the day, and Andreas is here with us now, and we're going to listen to his song, True Love. So let's share the screen, and yeah, anybody else have any other thoughts? Let me know. Feelers, I'm not sure what feelers means, but everybody seems to really love the atmosphere on this, and I agree, and everyone feels like it's very tender, very beautiful. So great job, Arco. All right, moving on now. Let's go ahead and share the screen, and let's talk about Andreas' song, True Love. This is our last song of the day. Let's take a listen. I expect to just feel love in my heart. Here we go, Andreas with True Love. Oh, yeah.
Everybody needs true love. Give a little more true love. Love is all we need. True love. Everybody needs true love. Give a little more true love. Love is all we need. Everybody needs true love. Give a little more true love. Love is all we need.
All right. Okay. So first of all, it's pretty long, and even for a pop song, I would make sure that you make a little shorter. Yeah, I figured that they were not real vocalists. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I noticed it, especially when the girl came in. I was like, okay, I've heard that program before, and that's really cool to have that. I mean, I think that's something cool. All right, quickly my comments on this. Number one, I would lose the sax. It's the fakest sounding thing in there. Even if it's real, it doesn't seem to fit, and I just don't think that it would be. Can I comment on where this would be used? To me, this seems like or were you asking him? But if you're asking me, White Beam, where this track can be used, you know, I think this is more of a pop song that someone would release to Spotify, really, than it would be used in any kind of any kind of licensing. It just doesn't seem. It doesn't. There's no place that comes to mind. And Melanie says this is too groovy for that title. I mean, what do you guys think? Yeah, Lucy and Jay. Yeah, I've seen that before, and I think if I ever use something like that, I would only use it to supplement like my own vocals, so that it would just be that. Even though they sounded fine, anybody else in here fooled that that was real vocals? That they thought it was real vocals? Be honest. If you thought that was real vocals, raise your hand or say something in the comments. I mean, it could have been, I thought for a minute, maybe it could be super auto-tuned and then just like looped or something. But yeah, I figured it was probably a fake kind of a singer thing. But that's cool. That's a good example. And that's a good thing to use, especially if you are someone who is not a singer and you have to show people how it goes. I think they're great for showing a vocalist how it needs to go. I think before I release that on Spotify or something, I would put I'd put a real vocalist on it. I think it's long. 4 minutes and 42 seconds is long for any song for any type of thing in our day, even pop songs. It needs to be a couple minutes long. You had an opportunity about 3 minutes to like True Love. That could have been the end, which might have been a great ending for this song. But I think I would lose the sax. I would make sure that there seems like there could be something like a pad or something that glues all this together. All the sounds are pretty decent. I would love to know more about your sounds and where they're all coming from. John Doe says, somewhat I wasn't sure, but I was hoping to hear more of a robotic type of sound on the tail end of True Love with a little bump of reverb. Yeah, I can hear that. I think this sounds a little like it's under production still to me. Arco says this could be good for Spotify. Max said I thought it was auto-tuned or samples. Yeah, I did too. And I think my main issue is the length right now. I think also is the busyness in it. Again, when you start having solos that are happening here, sorry, I see you're seeing a black screen. I think when you have solos that are happening, it gets kind of, and that sax is like taking up space in the mix, away from the bass and the drums and the groove that people like. I think there's an element of maybe strings that could come into this, like bum bum da da. This has a very retro feel to me, almost like an 80s type of feel a little bit to me. And so you might want to consider pushing it that way and maybe even going towards like MIDI strings that are not real and saying, hey, I'm definitely going for a retro vibe here. I think, though, then you've got to have real singers because these electronic voices would seem out of place. I think these electronic voices, yeah, work in progress. I see that. That's cool. I think these electronic voices are cool, but they have to be used in a way that we know that they're robot voices. And so I don't think they fit in a throwback track like this kind of sounds to me. But the saxophone I would definitely get rid of. I would also get rid of any like piano or guitar solo stuff that gets too much out there, that interrupts the groove, that interrupts the vocals and all that kind of stuff. But very interesting work, and I think simplification of this, and then adding in some kind of sound that is, you've got bass that's very active, you've got drums that are very active, you've got guitars that are very active, you've got piano that's very active, everything's very active, and you don't have anything that kind of glues it all together, and maybe like a pad or some strings or something like that, especially in the chorus. Bum, 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 almost like disco strings. Dun, 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 might kind of be cool. And then, I think I would also be interested in hearing an instrumental version of this without the true love. I think that, and if that's the case, I still wouldn't bring back the sax, because it doesn't sound very realistic. And whenever we use sounds, and earlier we heard some brass on one of the songs that sounded a little out of character because they sounded a little on the fakey side, and that draws our ears to that, and then we start to think about that kind of thing. So that's my thoughts about that. If you have more questions, Andreas, I'd be happy to answer them offline. And again, as I said, everybody knows that if you are watching this video later and you want to send stuff to me, just send to MakeMusicIncome. You can't even type. This keyboard is not a fast typer. Okay. At gmail.com. If you have a song, send me an MP3 and just tell me a little bit about it, and we'll put it in next Tuesday's thing. Here's what Andreas says. The special thing is that the instruments are all played by myself, just drums and vocals are programmed. Cool. Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with, did you play the saxophone as well? If you did, then it definitely needs some verb or something. It seemed a little, I don't know, it seemed a little out of place in this particular song. Or don't do the vocals and make this more of a sax solo type of song. But yeah, again, if you want to send, as we get ready to wrap up this section or this week's Make Music Income's Make Music Review Tuesday, if you want to send me something, make sure you send it to this email address. I'm thinking about in the future doing some special weeks with special genres. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know. And I'd love to know if you think that's interesting, and kind of make this a challenge, make this a bit of a challenge, and say, hey, this week I want to do stuff that you think might work in film. This week we're really going to work on stuff that would be great for this purpose or that purpose or some other purpose. So let me know what you think of that idea. Proxima Heavens, that's a beautiful name, just joined us. Love the track, but it needs more defined verses to me. Sounds like a terrific chorus that needs to be developed into a Get Lucky type of song, which is a kind of a gangster movie. But yeah, I think if you, oh no, you're talking about, I thought you were talking about the movie. You're talking about the song by that group. But anyway, Max says, I'm going to break translation next week. I don't know what that means. You've already broken our podcast this week, or our thing here. Arco says, I was working on a ballad. Does that work for singing? Sure. Again, Daft Punk, there you go. Yeah. Whenever I think of that song, I think of Pentatonics. I love their version of that song, of their kind of remix version of Daft Punk's song. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I can hear that for this song. Sure, Andreas, I can hear that. Some kind of, listen to Get Lucky by Daft Punk and see if you could maybe take it more in that groove, although their stuff is probably a lot more electronic, but and yours is all played, which congratulations and thank you. I always love when players play. I try to play all my keyboard parts by hand rather than loops, and I know it's the same thing. John Doe says, I think that would be a good idea, having different categories. Yeah, and I think it would make it interesting to more people who are watching, and it would give us something more than just general reviews of songs. So don't be surprised if I start asking for songs in a category, even starting as soon as next week. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining both of these things and staying with me this whole time. Again, if you want to send music to me, send to MakeMusicIncome@gmail.com. If I don't use it this next week, I'll use it the week after. I may start doing some genres and some different kind of challenges to you guys to see what you can make. Steve does this all the time, and it's so much fun. And all of these had such great sounds. I want to just say thank you to everybody. Thank you to Dave Gilden. Thank you to Mac Lytle. Thank you to Alexander, John Doe of Music for Stories, Max Marks. Thanks for all your comments today. Frodo and Arco, great to have you again in the review. And Andreas, thank you so much for your songs. And again, feel free to send us any music, send an MP3. Max, you are certainly welcome. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting this channel. Luca, absolutely. Thank you for being here. You're welcome. And White Beam, thank you. Ronan, cheers to your week as well, my friend. And everybody from all around the world who's joining us, thank you so much for being part of things. It's really just a pleasure to talk to you guys and have you part of this channel. So thanks very much. I'm going to end the stream now on purpose this time. Have a great week, and we will see you. Walt, you missed a lot, but you'll be able to catch it all. And glad you're here. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And we've got there's two episodes, but if you go back to the first one, I will link them together. So, all right. Thanks so much. Melanis says, nice tracks. Good work, guys. Great work, everybody. Just great work. Say goodbye. Everybody wave. Bye. Have a great week. We'll see you on Thursday. I'm going to be talking about publishing. So come join me at 11:30 on Thursday if you want to find out about music publishing and you want to find out about copyright, royalties. I'm going to talk about all that stuff. So you will see that video right here when I get it done. It'll be like in this space right here, like covering these microphones. There'll be a video right there for you to watch. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day. We'll see you next time. Bye.